Welcome to vGRID. Today we're going to show you how easy it is to deploy a virtual server. From within the control panel, simply click Create New Virtual Server. You can choose your location, give the machine a name. We'll call this one Demo Server. Give that server administrator a nice secure password. And then we'll click through to the template selection. Here you can choose the template, so the operating system and the variation of that operating system. We'll go ahead with 2016 and then click through to the final confirmation. The deployment process involves creating the disks and copying over the template. Depending on the size of the template, this can take up to about 5 minutes. For demo purposes, we've sped this one up. By default, the machine will be powered on, but to make any changes to CPU and RAM, the machine does need to be powered off. So we'll just power this machine off so that we can go into the settings area. Just click Settings once the machine's powered off. And that will take us through. We can get to the Hardware tab. So we can edit the CPU, we'll change it to 2. We can edit the RAM, we'll take this one up to 6 gig, seems like a good balance. And we'll increase the operating system disk from 30 to 50 gig and simply add a bronze tier disk of 200 gigabytes. Let's just assume this machine's going to be some sort of a file server or a large web server. We can then submit these changes just by clicking Save. Confirm that those are all good. So these changes will be applied immediately. So since we're in here and we're making changes, let's now go across to the Networking tab where we can make some more configuration changes for this machine. So you'll see by default the machine does not have an external IP address. It is private and secure, completely off the internet. We can configure the firewall by simply typing in what it is we want this machine to be. So in this case, a web server. We'll go ahead and add port 80, the standard HTTP port, and quite simply click Save. And this will submit these settings and the firewall will be deployed with those protocols enabled. So once the firewall configuration has been applied, the Networking tab will refresh. A new public IP address will have been assigned to the machine, and this is the IP address that you'll then be able to use to connect to this machine. Right here we can see the .250 address there. That'll only be enabled on port 80 HTTP. We can go ahead now and power this machine on from the Tools menu. Power this machine on, and we'll just go back to the front screen here. Wait for that machine to power on. The color coding will change from red to green automatically. And now this server is ready for production. Thank you for taking the time to see just how easy a server deployment is on vGRID.